Welcome to this demonstration of GitHub Copilot new MCP Server support in VSCode. But before going into the demonstration, let's talk about MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's an open standard that allows LLM applications to connect with external servers to get more information about data sources, knowledge base, on any type of application that you want to interact with. In the case of GitHub Copilot, the client is GitHub Copilot chat in VSCode, and you just install a new server and you connect it to VSCode to interact and extend the experience of the developer to get more context. And you can see on the Model Context Protocol website on GitHub organization, you have many existing servers already available, connecting to a database, getting information from third-party application. So it's really about extending the experience of Copilot chat, especially in agent mode, to give more context and precise access to some data or schema while building an application. Now we have a better view of what MCP is, let's dive into a demonstration of how you install and how you use GitHub Copilot chat with MCP servers. Let's now use an MCP server with GitHub. So in this case, I want to do something first. I want to try to create an issue using GitHub Copilot chat. So you see the new menu between Ask, Edit and Agent mode. I am in the chat mode and I ask Copilot to create an issue because I want to create a changelog file with all the release information. And it's writing the issue, it's great in the chat, but it doesn't create it in the repository or in the project. So let's try with the agent mode, same prompt, same questions, and it's doing a great job of giving me an opportunity to run the command line, and he will be able to do it. But I really want to create the issue from the chat. So instead of using the CLI, let's start a new agent mode and look at the tools that are available inside VSCode. These tools are coming from the different MCP server you have. You will see that in a minute, but also the available tool inside GitHub Copilot. So let's look in the MCP servers available at the open source project. We have a GitHub one, and it allows people to create and call it to create issues. So it's perfect for us. In this scenario, I just want to create an issue and manage some releases. To install the MCP server in an application like Cloud or Copilot chat in VS Code, you just need this JSON file and this JSON configuration that run the server in Docker with some parameters, including your personal access token. So let's switch back to VS Code, where I will configure the servers, one for now, using a new mcp.json file in the VS Code file, in VS Code directory. So you can use a wizard to create a new server. In my case, I already have the configuration as JSON to update the tools, so let's paste this configuration. As you can see, you have the list of servers, and at the top of it, I add an input to be able to enter the password or the personal access token because I want to save it in VS Code. And when you save the file, you have to refresh the tools. So let's click refresh now. It will call the server to get the list of tools available. But first, I have to enter my personal access token in the VS Code configuration. And when it's done, you see the list of tools move from 8 to 42. In addition now to the GitHub Copilot tools, you have all the MCP servers coming from GitHub that are available. Create pull request, create an issue, get the issue, create a new release, and so on. So let's ask the same question as before. We are in agent mode and we have an MCP server configured. So it's calling using the questions, it's looking at which tool has to be used, understanding that it should use the create issues from the MCP server of GitHub with this specific parameter. So you can see you can debug the query and you have to click continue. And also the first time you use the tool, you can choose if you want to keep it available for all the sessions, for all the workspace, or only once. In my case, I want to continue to use this tool all the time. Done. I click continue and an issue has been created. Let's look at it in the project. So I refresh the page, and you have the changelog file to be created. So I have a new issue in my repo. Now I want to implement this issue. Let's do it with Copilot. So I ask Copilot to implement this issue. What has to be done? List the release and create the file. So it's calling the tool list release from the GitHub MCP server. Let's click on it and give the permission. And based on this, same as what you do usually with Copilot Edit or Agent Mode, you will update the file or create file if necessary. And as you can see, you have a small mistake here. It's updating the README file where I want to create the changelog file. So let's ask again, and it's running, creating the changelog file. So I won't keep the data from the README, and I have now a changelog file with all the releases coming from the project. So we can keep that. And let's do a last task for this project. So I have the changelog file, and now what I want, I want from the latest release to create a new release. So from the new documentation based on V7 tag, I want to create a new tag on a new release. So just asking Copilot in agent mode to do it. So creating a new tag V8 from V7, I want to generate the release notes, and I want also to this release to be the latest and official release. So let's do this. So it's calling the tool to generate the release notes, then calling the tool from MCP Server to create the release. And it didn't update the changelog file automatically, but we have a new release, so we can just ask Copilot to update the changelog. Now we are done with a new release, a changelog file with the latest release. We can finish the conversation. So when we validate the content, done. So we are done with interacting with GitHub Copilot for this specific task. So what we have seen today. During this demonstration of showing how you integrate GitHub Copilot on MCP servers, we have defined what MCP is, a Model Context Protocol. We have seen how you can install an MCP server in VSCode, adding a new entry in the mcp.json file, but also how to interact in the Copilot chat, Copilot agent mode, and Copilot edit with your agent on your servers. Thanks for watching.